Welcome back to the Mountain Man Medical YouTube channel. Thanks for hanging out. Today we're looking at medical emergencies that might not be trauma and some things that you might be able to do to help somebody out who needs it. Stick around. We're going to talk about that next. Today we're going to look at a couple of videos that I found that highlight what to do in the case of a medical emergency that is not necessarily trauma related. A huge portion of our channel is dedicated to trauma because that's one of the things that we can actually fix, or not fix, but at least keep the casualty alive long enough so they can get to a surgeon so it can be fixed. But today we're going to look at a couple of videos that kind of highlight some ideas and some things to think about if you're encountering a medical emergency that might not necessarily be trauma. And specifically, we're going to be talking a little bit about diabetic emergencies and what you might be able to do as a first responder or a bystander who's just there to help out. All right, let's get into this video. This is a dash cam of an officer who is chasing somebody that's weaving all around the road. Let's check that out here now.
B75. We're all over the road and into the grass. 657, just struck a sign, coming up the tunnel. All 4 lanes.
Copy, approaching tunnel from target, where you guys are now.
657, we are coming up the tunnel still. Now we're going 12 miles an hour.
3 minutes now, or southbound?
Northbound. And they're taking the ramp to Tuttle into the grass. Stand by.
Control 1 is 91.
They're stopped on the ramp for now. I'm not going to approach like another unit. We might start again. We're rolling again. And we're going to the grass, through the median, back on a 270, cross the lanes of travel here into the fast lane.
Back on the 270 northbound on the fast lane.
657, start me some help from somewhere. This guy's going to kill somebody. He's all over all 5 lanes.
I copy. 631, are you sir?
657, I just code 2'd it. We're stopped. We're going to need to shut the freeway down.
I copy. Are you still 270 northbound at Tuttle?
North of Tuttle.
All right, so the video mostly ends here, but I want you to kind of hear the audio a little bit about the officer talking with the suspect, or in this case, we learn to find that they're a victim of a medical emergency. So they're not a suspect of any crime. They are not in control of their actions at this moment. But I want you to listen to the audio a little bit. Listen to the way that this suspect interacts and responds to the officer. Here we go.
Just north of Tuttle.
Get out of the car! Get out of the car!
Who's this backup unit responding?
Start me a medic. Get out of the car! Get out of the car! What's going on? What's your name? This is a medical emergency of some kind. My teammate is disabled. Stand by. I have no idea. Get out here. I have no idea. Make it a 3 or a 44. Get out of here. Come on.
Copy.
Put your hands behind your back.
44 officer 657, 270 northbound, just north of Tuttle.
Put your hands behind your back, sir. Put your hands behind your back. Put your hands behind your back.
657, do you have further?
He's not cooperating. Put your hands behind your back. What's going on? Put your hands behind your back. Put your hands behind your back.
631, are you back?
All right, so I'll stop it right there. And you can hear from that audio that this individual does not know what's going on. You can hear him say on a couple of times there, "I don't know what's going on." And the reason for that is a diabetic emergency will cause an altered mental status. That's a hypoglycemic individual. That's someone with low blood sugar. Hypo means low, hyper means high. So if you're hyperactive, you're highly active, right? So if you're hypoactive, that means you're laying on the couch and you're not doing anything. So hypoglycemia is low blood sugar, and that can cause an altered mental status to the degree where the victim appears to be drunk. And in fact, there's been numerous cases where a diabetic patient has been mistakenly thought of as being drunk. The cops pick him up, take him to the drunk tank to let him sleep it off, come back to find him the next morning, and they're dead. Very unfortunate, but it's an easy thing to make the mistake for because they act very drunk. They make a lot of erratic movements because their brain isn't getting the sugar it needs to operate correctly. Just because you come up onto somebody and they're acting very drunk doesn't necessarily mean that they are. They might be having a diabetic emergency. So keep that into the back of your mind at all times to make sure that you're not making the wrong judgment call whenever it comes to something like this. The other thing that you need to be concerned about is because they are acting erratically, they are not making the best judgment calls. They are dangerous. And we can see from this video that being behind the wheel of a vehicle makes that even more dangerous. Not only are they acting erratically, not only might they attack you, but if they're operating heavy equipment, then there's a good chance they can hurt a lot of other people besides just themselves. So it's a good deal that this officer was able to hit this guy and take his vehicle out of commission so that he doesn't go and hurt more people and cause that more destruction, of course. Whenever you're interacting with somebody with an altered mental status, you don't know what they're capable of. You don't know what they have any weapons on them. I'm going to leave this video right here. It's just a lot more screaming and yelling, and the video doesn't really change. Since it's the dash cam, we don't get to see what's going on. But let's go ahead and head on to the next video.
They have a medical emergency right now, trying to get their vehicle stopped.
They don't make errors.
Please, you. Do you want a spot card over there? Where is it? Okay, 7443. Do you want a squad card over there? Or where is it?
And we could see the officer run up, open that door, and try to get the vehicle to stop. That's very dangerous because if that guy suddenly comes awake or freaks out or just stomps on the gas or something like that, he's going to take off, and that officer is going to be, he runs this pretty good risk. If it's a diabetic emergency and you're certain that they have hypoglycemia, it can sneak up on you. It can sneak up on somebody who's been hypoglycemic their entire life, or this might be the very first time that they've ever been hypoglycemic and they didn't even know. If that is the case, you need to get EMS on scene as quickly as possible. Anytime you have an altered mental status, that means there's something weird going on. Now, the other thing that you need to think about for diabetic emergencies is being able to give them some kind of sugar. Make sure that it's a drink or a candy or something like that that actually has sugar in it. If you have a sugar-free candy or a diet soda, there's no sugar in it, so it's not really going to help them out very much. So make sure that you're giving them something that actually has sugar in it. You want to give them a good bit of it. Generally, if you have like just one of those regular bottles of orange juice, you want to make sure that they drink at least a third to a half of it to make sure that they're getting enough sugar in it to compensate for their lack of sugar. It could take up to about 15 minutes for that sugar to get into their system and start to affect their brain so that they start coming around and stop acting so erratic. It's not going to be a quick fix. And sometimes if you've got somebody who is used to having diabetes, this has happened to them before, they might not be nearly as concerned about it because it's happened before. They're used to it. So it's kind of up to them about whether or not they actually want to go see a doctor or not. I will leave that call up to them. If it's me and I'm on scene and I'm trying to help them out, I'm going to recommend that they go see a doctor anyway. Even if this has happened to them before, just go get checked out, make sure that everything's going to be okay, and that way everybody's happy. All right, guys, that's all I got for you. Thanks for hanging out and checking out these videos with me. If you learned anything today, don't forget to hit that sub button. That's a free way to support the channel and to help me keep these videos coming out to you. When you get a chance, head over to mountainmanmedical.com and check out our Yellowstone and our Wind River trauma kits and be ready for whatever the mountain throws at you. I'll catch you guys in the next one.